We do have breaking news to get right to here. There is a SIG alert on the 805 in Claremont after this terrible crash. Look at that car. Wow. Crews are cleaning up after this car was hit by a semi-truck.
Yeah, you see all the damage to the back of that car as well as damage to the front of the semi-truck. This happened around 11 o'clock last night on the northbound lanes near Claremont Mesa Boulevard. You can see someone was transported in an ambulance there. We do not know their condition or what led up to this crash. We do know hazmat was called out there for an oil spill. Caltrans says the right 3 lanes are blocked right now. We'll keep you updated as soon as we learn more. Glad you're with us here on this Monday. Hope you had a really nice weekend. It's 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Irampour. I do want to show you the traffic map so you can see where this crash is. Northbound 805 is a mess right now coming through Claremont. So this, as you see, all that red on the 805, speeds are down to 7 miles an hour. And now there's not 1, but 2 crashes there that officials are on scene for. So we've just mentioned the one at the 805 near Claremont Mesa and the 52, that SIG alert that was issued. Well, just south of that, still on the northbound lanes of the 805, there's another crash now at Balboa Avenue. So the right-hand shoulder is blocked due to that crash. It's 6:02 right now, so things are starting to get a little busier, as you'll notice across much of San Diego. As you'll wake up, you'll see that sunrise. Look at this, 6:44 is the official sunrise time, and it is quite a gorgeous one out there with the filtered sunlight, those clouds that are coming through. Temperature-wise, it's chilly, so you'll want a big jacket in the 40s for some of you, but also in the low 30s for others in places like Ramona. Let's get to our other local news here to cover for you. Escondido City Council will meet today after declaring a state of emergency over the water quality in Escondido Creek.
The city found elevated bacteria levels due to contamination related to homeless encampments. CBS 8's Regina Irita live in Escondido now with what's being done about this. Regina?
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Netta. And after months of complaints from neighbors, Escondido has decided to clear up the encampment and even close off a section of the trail. We reported on this last week. Many residents tell us that some of their concerns are beyond the environmental health impacts.
I feel like it's long overdue. It's terrible that it had to take a state of emergency to get it done, but I'm happy that something's at least getting done. I love the city to keep it clean, and hopefully this area can boom again.
So this is a look at the tents near the water. The local emergency comes after a recent water quality test conducted by the city showed high levels of bacteria. It showed bacteria levels 2 to 3 times higher than normal. In one case, they even tested bacteria levels 23 times higher than the standard. Leaders say the amount of trash and human waste are part of the issue, which is why Escondido City Council will hold a special meeting later this afternoon to discuss ratifying the emergency proclamation. They could perform a sweep by early as today, enforcing their encampment ban. There's also plans to install fencing to close off the area and prevent further damage and contamination. Escondido says they understand the sensitivity of this issue, especially so close to the holidays. Multiple nonprofits, including the Church of God, will help connect people to the right services. The nonprofit Church of God will serve as the staging area for outreach and support services. Now, just last week, we spoke with people experiencing homelessness living at the encampment. They tell us that there is really no permanent spot for them, and they feel that there's hardly any help for the unhoused. So back out here, once a fence has been installed, a second cleanup will take place. But their biggest concern today is to clean up the area and connect the people who are unhoused to the right services to get them help. That's latest here in Escondido. I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thanks for the update today. The San Diego City Council is hearing an update on the proposed 1,000-person mega shelter on Kettner and Vine. The council is expected to get an update on how negotiations are going over the cost of the property. This comes after a report released in October by the city's independent budget analyst found that the city could be paying above market rate to lease the warehouse. Council will be hearing this at 10 a.m. behind closed doors. A man accused of committing an overnight crime spree in the Forest Ranch area is expected to make his first court appearance today. Police say 33-year-old Robert Coleman Jr. broke into 3 restaurants using a sledgehammer Wednesday night. According to investigators, they tracked the suspect using license plate readers. Detectives are also looking into whether he may be connected to similar break-ins in Tierra Santa. Coleman is already facing charges for an August crime spree in San Marcos.
And now an update on a horrific dog attack in Mira Mesa that killed a man. The San Diego Humane Society is confirming the man was mauled by his own animals and they say there was a second victim in the attack. It happened Friday at Mesa Viking Park near Erickson Elementary School. The Humane Society says 3 XL bully dogs attacked their owner, who later died at the hospital. A bystander stepped in to help and was also injured. He was also hospitalized and is now recovering. The dogs were taken to the Humane Society, where a co-owner agreed to have them euthanized.
Well, Harborside Park in Chula Vista will finally be reopening here today. It's been closed for more than 2 years over concerns of crime, homeless encampments, and drug use.
Right by an elementary school there. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Chula Vista to show us the changes made to the park. We see some of those already, right, Chris?
The brightest one, of course, would be the extra lights that are here. This was an area that when you were here at this time in the morning, it was dark. You weren't exactly sure where you were going. And now, because of so many improvements that have been made, again, one of them that they learned from the public that was needed the most, the lighting that you see. But take a look at this video showing a lot more of the improvements to this park that has been closed for more than 2 years. There's a walking trail that goes around the entire length of the park. There's a ranger station, permanent fencing, and even a soccer mini pitch, which is a hard court surface for anyone to come out here to play soccer. There's also a basketball court as well as a large grass field. So this is a much different picture than 2 years ago, where dozens of homeless were camped out here. There were reports and sightings of drug use as well as violence. A large concern, obviously, that Harborside Elementary was just nearby. Families having to go to pick up their kids even sometimes walking to school. Now, initially, the park was closed for 90 days. There was a clear out of all of the belongings, the tents and so forth. But then after it remained closed, there were even protests and demonstrations from the public demanding for the park to be reopened. But it did remain closed until all of these improvements were made. They surveyed the public. They spoke with them about what it is that they wanted the most. Now, more than 2 years later, fast forward, here we are right now talking about what really is a gem of a park. Now, this is a huge, vast improvement that, yes, it was closed. In fact, we can even still see, the close sign that is still very much up here, effective, again, August 31st of 2022. But now you look at the park and everyone's waiting for 3:30 p.m. today for this park to finally reopen. Eric and Netta.
All right, that's going to be very exciting for those folks that live near the park there and to enjoy that. And great day for something like that to be opening up, and a great start to the morning.
Such a great start. I did not color coordinate with the sunrise. I didn't know this was
Even
necessarily
the purple in
happening.
your cast
The purple,
is
yes,
matching.
this matches. I know, we're getting the pinks and purples out there. My daughter's favorite colors. So there you go, the sun coming through, and you see those clouds sweeping across, kind of thin, making for that gorgeous ray of color. So what a wonderful way to start the day. Sunrise will officially be here at 6:44 a.m. But of course, right now we're seeing that early yellow glow coming through, making for such a pretty sight out there. San Diego showing off yet again. Here's a look at the clouds that have been sweeping through across our area. Thinner clouds, and that usually is why we get these beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Up north, there's rain, there's snow, all of that's coming in, but none of that moisture is moving south. We have high pressure, in fact, opposite effect happening for us, keeping all the moisture away, which we do desperately need. Temperatures right now are pretty chilly to start, so if you do have to head outside, maybe your dog wants to go for a walk, just grab a big fluffy jacket. 45 Carlsbad, 40 in Santee. Some of you are in the 30s, Escondido at 38. Look at Ramona. Just dropped now to 29 degrees. Right before that sunrise, it's our coldest time of the morning. So right now would be the chilliest moment. 39 in El Cajon, 49 in La Mesa, Julian at 50. So don't be surprised if there's frost in Ramona. You're below freezing now. 69 degrees will be your afternoon high in San Ysidro, 64 in IB, Chula Vista at 66. Moving out east to Santee and El Cajon, you're in the low 70s. So pretty mild day, upper 60s to low 70s. At the coast, a little bit cooler and partly cloudy. That's kind of all we're going to be dealing with today. I'll talk more about the change in winds. Yes, Santa Ana's will be picking up here in a moment. But let's get right to that crash we mentioned at the top of our newscast here. I do want to point out the second crash that happened on Balboa has just been cleared. So now they're dealing with this major one. This is the one between the semi and a sedan. 4 lanes, this map says, are blocked. Earlier we reported 3 lanes. Either way, it is a mess. A lot of backup right behind it, where speeds down to 7 miles an hour. So hopefully, if you can, as you're seeing this, use a different route, the 5 northbound, the 15 northbound, because it's going to take some time. They had an oil spill. Hazmat has to be out there for many hours to clear that. So we'll continue to monitor it for you. Also, just notice this crash on Spring Glen Lane. The lane is blocked at Hammershot Boulevard, but that does not seem to be affecting much of the commute. Border wait times right now at this hour here, 100 minutes to get through San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa's Port of Entry also pretty long, 90 minutes to get through. Eric?